Okay, can you hear can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let me start our session. We'd like to introduce a new ISAGA Summer School. We'd like to report ISAGA Summer School 2021 that was held in August 23 to August 27. My name is Roy Hamada, worked as a General Secretary of this session. This ISAGA Summer School 2021. COVID-19 epidemic caused a lot of trouble worldwide. And ISAGA Summer School is a friend of ISAGA since its establishment about 50 years ago. We gathered together and we learned how to develop an in the same field. However, before the COVID-19 pandemic, the cost related story was already raised by many people, and it was so expensive to travel to the somewhere in the world, and it is also difficult to co-work with other persons that have never seen before. Therefore, before the COVID-19, we had to innovate the summer school workshop style. However, it was not an urgent issue, so it continued for many times. Therefore, after the COVID-19 shock, we were in the charge of host of ISAGA 2020 in Hokkaido, Sapporo. However, we had to postpone everything for 1 year. We believe that pandemic will become better. However, as a result, Japan is still in the emergency declaration, and we cannot say we have completely managed COVID-19. So we need a new style and a new concept of ISAGA Summer School. That is shown in your PowerPoint, that we separate some sites with supervisor in each site. We will do ISAGA game development competition instead of international teaching. We will report the result in the workshop in ISAGA 2020X by participants. ISAGA Summer School needs some theme, that is game that can demonstrate online. We don't say in detail. Of course, if we are used to do this way, where we can consider for more practical purpose, like a business game or disaster prevention game, and so on. But currently, this is the first step. Therefore, we selected the most broad title that please make a game that is possible to be demonstrated online. That was our only requirement to the teams. Talking about the teams, we had 3 teams in New Zealand and Japan and European. However, in New Zealand, it was under the government level, emergency declaration. Lockdown in nationwide. Therefore, they couldn't attend and they couldn't make a game. However, Japan team gathered 9 students, 8 students, and in Europe, under the supervision of Sebas, we had 2 students in there. So this chart shows the framework of ISAGA Summer School. We are pleased to propose this style to the future. In Japan, Hokkaido University of Science played a role as a chair. Tomomi Kaneko is the chair, and we will manage the opening message in day 1, game demonstration session also on day 1, and game competition rule guidance on day 1. Everyone attends by Zoom. However, from day 2 to day 3, day 2, day 3, and day 4, we don't have to connect to Zoom. We don't have to adjust our time to the international time. It will be a huge stress. Imagine, can you participate 3 days long seminar along between the Zoom? I think it is quite difficult and quite not fun. Therefore, from day 2 to day 4, we are free from time difference, and we are able to use our native language, and we can continue our daily work as well. That is our invention. So, in the day 1, we have carried out this schedule as this PowerPoint shows. We spent 2 hours to opening speech by Dr. Kanegae and ISAGA gaining our rule and grading policy and briefing session, and we couldn't do isolating. And from day 2 to day 4, we did many works in Japan and Sweden. Emotion was so important. It is like a glue. We had a confidence we need this kind of concentration in the same place. Small items have been delivered successfully within day 4 from Sweden. And in day 5, we have an evaluation. We have an evaluation by Dr. Hidehiko Kanegae and Dr. Shin. That was the outline of our trial. From now on, we would like to show you the video that what Japan team has carried out. Then Dr. Kanegae will make a comment. Next week, Swedish team will make a presentation by using PowerPoint. And then it takes 10 minutes. And then Dr. Kanegae will make comments individually. Next week, after those two presentations have been finished, we will have awarding ceremony conducted by Dr. Hidehiko Kanegae. Okay, from now on, I'd like to show you the Japan video. Before proceeding to the video, any questions or any comments? If nothing, we will go to the movie session. Please wait a little bit. Just a moment, please. Can you hear the message?
I couldn't hear the sound.
Okay, sorry. Here we go.
We created the hook game, produced by National Institute of Technology, Asahikawa College, Board Game Research Group. My name is Taisei Mikami. I'd like to introduce to our group members. Dai Ishizawa, the leader. Daiki Matsuo, Shoki Wada, Masashi Arata, Kazuma Soda, Ryunosuke Oyoi, and Wataru Kagen from Ritsumeikan University. Thank you for content supported by Sophia Bliss Company Limited and Hokkaido Innovative Design Enterprise Research Association. Here is the presentation flow. First, let me explain the production process. Second, we'll go over the outline. First, production process. First is Higashikawa Universal Card, Higashikawa Town, Hokkaido, Japan local point card. This card has a close relationship with the local community. It has also become model case for regional revitalization and awarded the Minister of Economy, Trade and Industry Award in 2019. However, since the local point card requires a close collaboration among all the stores and the administration to succeed, we created the fake game to let the store administration and many people know how local point return system. Next, outline description. Let me explain game story. The player receives share capital at the start of the game and establishes a store in Higashikawa town. However, the major shopping mall was built in the next town and the players are forced to run tough business. At that time, the entire town will consider introducing a common point return system. The format of the game is like backgammon. You roll the dice to go ahead. There are 3 steps. On step 1 to 2, roll the dice one by one. On step 3, we move forward together. There are selling and buying phase every turn. There are the basic information. You have 50,000 yen in the capital. The cost of the material is 40 yen. You have to pay expense every turn. The population of our town on this game is 2,400 people. The selling price at major shopping malls in the neighbor city is 100 yen. Now let's discuss step 1. Each store will change their prices to make difference from the major shopping mall. There are normal space that is circle. Now explain the flow of one town in step 1. Look at the picture. Blue arrows indicate flow of your money, and red arrows indicate flow of your materials and products. The store purchases the materials from the factory and sell the products to customers. Now let's talk about the calculation of sale.
I have a capital of 50,000 yen. I decided to sell 450 units of the product for 80 yen. The cost is 40 yen, so the total cost is 80,000 yen. The next step is to determine the number of customers by rolling the dice based on the table. This time, the roll was 4. So 400 people came. The sales were 32,000 yen. Finally, you will have to pay 50,000 yen as fixed cost, so your expense will be minus 1,000 yen. The final cash is 49,000 yen.
Now step 2. Each store will introduce its own point return system to increase the number of repeat customers. There are normal space and event space. There are 3 types of event space: Rotary, Festival, and Point Return Light Up. Now explain the flow of step 2. Look at the picture. The new yellow arrows indicate the flow of points. Process number 1 and process number 2 are same as step 1. There is a new actor, called Point Company. The Point Company provides a point to the customer. The The point cost at this time is rated in L2. The point cost will be returned to your store by the point company when the customer makes a purchase in next month. Furthermore, we will introduce a new rule called Attracting Customers Power (ACP), which is based on price and point return rate. The number of additional customers varies according to the rate of the value to that of other stores and major shopping malls. The game master reports the additional customers to the players. In this case, the additional customers should be rated in G2. Now, step 3. Each store decided to start a common point return system to compete with a major shopping mall in the neighbor city. Since this is a common point, when any store reaches this step, all other stores will move to step 3 as well. In this step, all stores move forward one by one and stop at the same space. As a result, there is no event space. An additional event will occur in every space. These additional events are modeled after the support that Higashikawa actually provides, and there are 6 types in total: electric money charge campaign, point lottery, shopping campaign, stamp rally, gift point for international students, and assistance while using town facilities. The bonus point generated by the event will be filled in M3. Explain the flow of step 3. Process number 1 and number 2 are the same as step 1 and 2. In process number 3, point return to the customer via the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. With the introduction of a common point return system, they can receive general support from the administration. That is all the explanation of each step. We will be debrief. In step 1, the player receives share capital at the start of the game and establishes a store in Higashikawa town. However, the major shopping mall was built in the neighbor city and the players are forced to run tough business. In this game, players can choose from 3 different selling prices, but no matter which one they choose, once the customer goes to the major shopping mall, they will not come back. One of the reasons is the point card. If the customer has a point card, he or she will think, I will shop at that store again and earn more points. In step 2, the large shopping mall has opened in the neighbor city and the shop started tough business. In order to overcome this situation, your store introduced own point return system. In this step, the player can select 5% or 10% for point return rate. By doing so, customers who used to shop at major shopping malls as well will want to store at your store as much as possible. In this game, the customer's desire to come back is expressed as ACP. The game master calculated how many customers would come from this ACP rate and presented it to the players. In step 3, in order to be compete with the major shopping malls, each store tried to make lower prices, introduced point card, but it didn't not work well. However, it didn't not work because in the major shopping malls, you can buy various products at once. Therefore, Higashikawa unified the market by making it possible to use the same point card, hook, at many shops. In this step, all stores use the same point card, FERC, and the administration would be able to provide support. This kind of the support from administration can have a great impact on management. The administration will issue points for various occasions such as medical checkup, hometown tax, and using public facilities. The effect of the electronic money charge campaign is especially great, as customers charge their electronic money charge campaign to FERC for the 10% cashback. As the money can only be used in the town, the sales will naturally increase. However, this kind of the support is not possible without many stores participating in a common point card. For example, if you charge a lot of money to a point card that can only be used at restaurants and some stores in your city, you don't do that. That is why we believe it is important to let as many people as possible know about the advantages of common point cards. Thank you for listening.
Okay.
Any questions from the participants? Questions are invited from the participants. If you have any questions, you may also post the questions in the chat box.
Okay, I have one request.
Yes.
Please accept screen share to Dr. Hidehiko Kanegai. Okay. Let's go on to the next session. Okay, can we go?
I forgot to.
Sorry, Luca. It's not your target. Sorry, Dr. Kanegai will make a presentation, provide a comment to the Japan team from now on. Okay, Professor Kanegai, please.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a good presentation. Improved at the end of the summer school. And I'm Hidehiko, the chair of the evaluation and the award committee. And also, the other members are also, sorry, this is their development. Shingo Yamada is here. Yamada sensei. Like a robotic sound. Okay.
Yeah, there's a technical glitch that is.
Yeah, and also the other two evaluation committee members, Toshiyuki and Nanako, but they organization couldn't be permit for coming to the place under the state of emergency. Then, but anyhow, so these evaluation committees evaluated. So I'm going for the comment. This is like a definition between for the simulation and gaming. And usually we need to know about the overlapping for the human participation simulation style. This is a basic one. And also today, the first presentation HUC game that was a sort of the introduction of the new style of the collaboration, which is based on to the a sort of gamified society in local business and merchant business, so on. And also, the basically it was based on to the board game, and it has 3 steps, so 3 phases for the without collaboration or and with collaboration. That means to the in the game theory, cooperative game, and using for the common point card in third phase. In case of people would reach to the cooperative game in local business together, which is not the bargain, then finally they can reach for the win-win local business system utilizing by the sort of gamification or gamified way of local business management, which is similar to the mileage and the point systems, so on. And it has some of the sort of improving of social welfare, which is local currency style, so on. And also the 4 players can join. The target is business leader, CEO, so on. And also this is evaluation points. It has material preparations and reality conversion into the projection, another to say extraction, and the simulation gaming level and the meta level below R1, and briefing and roles facilitation and the debriefing and releasing, so on, and 5W, which was succeeded is succeeded by the from Paolarizzi at the beginning of the starting of the ISS. Yeah, of course, we also contributed, which will be a simulation and gaming level versus meta level. That is sort of the intensive objective for what the participants, players can learn by doing. Then these points, indexes, are evaluated. And also, this game has it has a bit different 3 phases. That mean to the meaning is, yeah, I wrote it. First one is a zero-sum game, but in latter part, third game becomes non-zero-sum game, which will be meaningful for the new style ethical investment or new style of business one. But they prepared for the many materials. That is a good point. And the facilitation is a bit difficult. Yeah, that is a prototyping, and also it's not familiar with the speaking in English and inadequate for the practicing time. Yeah, it's very limited time. And also not enough for the final winning situations for the win-win, what I mentioned about the non-zero-sum game. And but the advantage it has, the team has done in the shorter time, and also many people input for the many efforts, and the game potential itself is very high. And also, it will be meaningful for studying about, learning about gamification and the gamified society, collaborating together with players and players who wish to learn about the meaning of the collaboration, local collaboration, so on. That is my comment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pamela. Let's go to Swedish session. Luca, are you ready?
My screen?
Okay, please start your presentation.
So welcome for everybody. Thank you for the introduction. I'm Luca Marzano, and with my colleague Arsha Krishna, during the ISAGA summer school, we developed this game called Acute room game. This game is inspired by a real-world study that currently me and my research group we are leading at the KTH. This study is focused for a Swedish hospital about optimizing the resource allocation, so beds, doctors and nurses, in order to manage the patient's flows in the emergency department and the allocation from the transfer to the ward for further treatment. Patients that arrives with a different grade level of priority of treatment called triage. The goal of this game will be teach and learn how to manage the situation of scaling the capability and the resources of the entire environment, so emergency department and ward, in order to treat in the best way you can this flow of patients arriving in your hospital. The game is designed for 2 players, one that will be assigned to the emergency department, the acute room, and the other player to the ward for the exchanging of the patients arriving. The players will assign their resources, so doctors, nurses, and beds, in order to minimize the waiting time of the patients in the queue and optimize the quality of treatment of these patients, avoiding bottlenecks or enlarging of their personal queues. And the player will be pushed to collaborate in order to exchange their own resources in order to optimize all the process. In this slide, we reported the abstraction of our game, how we simplified the situation of the incoming patients. So we have our inflow of the patients arriving in the emergency department, where there are the doctors, nurses, and beds to take the first care of them. These patients will arrive with a different level of priority. In this case, we simplified the game using 3 triage colors, from the red to the green, in order to stratify the patients having the immediate attention for the caring, the orange patients having also them the priority of the treatment but less than the red colors, and the green patients having less attention in comparison with the others, so patients that can wait and they will discharged at the end of the treatment. And then these patients arriving in the ward, in the hospital, where in addition to the resources, we have also the labs where the patients usually are sent for further evaluation and monitoring before the discharge. In this slide, we reported the board of the game, where we can see the 2 boards that the players will have for playing, and the resources represented by cards by the order the bed, doctor, nurses, and the queue of the patients that will arrive and that will send to the ward, and a lab queue for the labs used for the monitoring for the monitoring of the patients arrived in the ward. Materials required for this game are materials for a board game. So we have the board printed for the acute room and the ward for the two players. The labels stating the resources, so doctors, nurses, and beds. Poker chips to represent the triage of the patients arriving. A watch or a timer for monitoring the time for the playing. A facilitator Excel tool that will be taken by the facilitator in order to simulate the arrival of the patients using a statistical distribution. The six-sided die, two pieces, and for one each player. And of course, the writing materials to take notes about the incoming process. The two players will sit in two different tables, having their assigned table in function of if they are playing for the acute room or for the ward. They will assign the resource. The facilitator will set up all the situation, the generation of the patients arriving from the Excel file, and the play will start for the gamers after a short briefing where the facilitator will explain the rules of the game and the goal, that is the optimization of the resources in order to improve the quality of care. And the goal, the winning situation for our players is to manage in the best way they can all the environment in order to avoid bottlenecks and long waiting queues of the patients. In detail, we simulated the treatment flow of the patients, dividing this flow in 4 steps that are laid during the game iteratively, starting from the patients arriving to the acute room that are assigned by the resources from the player, simulating all the flow from the acute room to the ward, and using the die to simulate the prompt intervention of the doctor, so how many patients can be moved from the acute room to the ward, or from the ward to the lab test and the discharge, and so on until we arrived to the key part of the game, that is the discussion between the two players in order to relocate their own resources in order to improve the process, the quality of care. However, during the briefing, like in a real situation, patients will continue to arrive at the acute room. So the players are really stressed about to take the best decision, but in the short time they can. So in optimizing the process in a really short time interval that simulates the real world situation when we in a real management of the hospital. In detail, in this cooperation, the way of allocate the resources will be 1 doctor or 2 nurses for each patient during the treatment flow. For this first prototype, we made a series of simplifications and assumptions in order to make a first prototype for 2 players. However, in the future, we are planning to expand the complexity of the game in order to reach a more include more aspects about the treatment. In detail, we are planning to make the game for more players, expanding the acute room, having as happens in the real world, more than 1 room where there are different doctors and nurses specialized for a certain kind of patient, where there will be more than 1 patient, more than 1 ward with a special configuration that could be a ward with more beds or more labs or both. increase the complexity of the staff. So having doctors that can that have their specialization, so that can treat a certain kind of patients arriving, and so also increasing the complexity of the patients arriving. So having patients with a certain triage code, but with a list of symptoms for possible diagnosis, so that will mean to have a different treatment, a different allocation from a specified profile of your resources, and adapt the game for a discrete event simulation in order to also bring this game digitally and having a more stressful simulation of the patient arriving during the decision making. And in this way, having as main goal the improving of the protocols of the hospital, of the environment, in situations, in different scenarios where we could have the normal scenario, the routine of the hospital that usually is made by a fixed configuration by the management, or more special scenarios that could be, for example, a pandemic or a catastrophic scenario where we have an important amount of patients arriving in our environment. And so we need to optimize in a really short time all our resources in order to improve the treatment of this unexpected flow. Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, any questions from the participants?
Okay, since time is nearly up, may I proceed? Dr. Kanegaya, please go on.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I think there are no questions from the participants, so can we proceed?
Yeah. The comment session. Thank you very much for Luca. Acute room game is very special one. But this game is not a game. A sort of tracing for the exponential number of the patients coming to acute room, and also transferring to the ward room. In Swedish medical systems, I think. North American style is a bit different types. Home doctor and ER, emergency room, and ICU and non-ICU or connecting, but basically the same one. And also, it treat about the real hospital resource management simulation, and also Luca mentioned already for this simulation gaming would like to transfer into the online style. Oh, I forgot to the Oceania team was cancelled under the COVID-19 lockdown, unfortunately. But we thought and standby for any types of the accident for the not a pandemic, but a few people infected or something. But thank you very much for anyhow for the preparation for the Oceania team. And also European team is going. That is objective on the fly collaboration between different department, acute manager and ward manager, so on. And but this is very limited resources allocation in the hospital, and this kind of the COVID-19 pandemic in India hospital, it's famous one. But in Swedish hospital, didn't shortage those kind of the oxygen care and cure and medicine so on. But under uncertainty, cooperation could be difficult. This is in the sense is fitting for the mainly simulation main gaming, so on. And the target is managers, but I think it would be better to give some opportunities for the decision makers of the hospital director or policy makers for the public hospital, I think. And anyhow, it needs for the collaboration between to the acute manager and the ward managers. The players number is 2, is a bit severe situation. And this is evaluation points I mentioned. And acute room game is very useful for the specialties in medicine, medical services. But from the viewpoints of mathematical sense of how to optimize, how to solve the optimization, both meaning of the dual meaning of local optimization in each acute room and ward room, but also usually optimization and solving some of the dual layer of the global one. It needs for the number of the patient, queue and the waiting for the queue of the patients should be operated in shorter time. Then you should solve the dual meaning of optimization solutions. But unfortunately, this game, the number of patients increasing in each term in later on, it becomes exponentially. That means that there are no solutions. But for the optimization theory, it brings the other resources. That's the reason why I mentioned this game would be better to involve for the decision makers who can bring some other resources. Yeah, of course, money or budget is important, but the other resources, other medical doctors, nurses could be rental or supporting. Those situations would be expected. Now, game itself is very simple, but in essential basic situation is a catastrophic emergency controlling, so on. But this is prototyping under the limited time. And also the facilitation is, we cannot play until end of the game because of the explosion of the number of the patients. And we couldn't find for the alternative answers. And the facility is very, according to the very simple one, it's okay. And no finding for the winner, then of course we can learn severe situations. There are also crucial resources management under the pandemic or disaster occurred. And also the very simple, but education effect is a big one. But according to the objective of what they would like to learn by doing, it has a bit reconsideration needed. And this is improving points. Later, maybe the Professor Hamada or Professor Kaneko will deliver to you, because that this chat cannot deliver to all of the everybody. But later you can do it. And also my comment is finally, this is a limitation of this ISS. But there are many improving points for the next years, after the next years, for the network ISS connecting around the world like this. Yeah, there are many hints for improvements, but my recommendation and comments are here. That's all one. And the next one is awarding. Wait a moment. Next is awarding. Can you see? Unfortunately, this time there are no best excellent S&G ISS award, but for each one they have good special works. Then Acute room game team would be awarded for the simulation special works. Congratulations. And the next one is Hack game team. This is an award for gaming special works. Congratulations. And the next one, Hamada Sensei.
Yes. Yes.
Can I proceed?
Yes, please.
Congratulations we would like to committee would like to consent to the awarding for each personal efforts under this kind of very severe situations. Asha, this is an encouragement for award for the good simulation game design.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Luca, good facilitation. Congratulations. Dai. There are so many people with good management. Congratulations. And next, Taisei. Congratulations for the same project management. Next, Daiki for the design award. Also the design. And Masahi.
Sorry, he is not in this room.
Okay. Design award, encouraging for them. Yes.
Yes.
And then next, Kazuma.
Kazuma is now he is in
Incentive.
so
Yes.
really great now.
Yunosuke, also the S&G Incentive Award. And Wataru, project management. Anyhow, so the congratulations under this kind of the difficulties, but anyhow, new style of international simulation and gaming association summer school was completed. Thank you very much. Congratulations. And thank you very much for Professor Kaneko and Professor Hamada and Professor Sebastian Mayer and Professor Heidi. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mahe. We successfully finished the ISAGA 2021 summer school. And I think we believe we can continue this while pandemic continues. Thank you very much for your attention. Our session is over.
Thank you very much to all the participants for their valuable contributions, to their interest in and their enthusiasm for the workshop. I'm particularly grateful to the resource persons, Roiju Hamada from National Institute of Technology, Asaikawa College, Japan, Tamomi Kaneko from Kaido University of Science, Japan, Masahiro Iji from Tohoku University, Japan, for their commitment to make this workshop a great success. And special thanks to Professor Heidi Ko also. I wish you all great success in your pursuits. Thank you very much.
Thank you to the ISAGA committee for this experience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Yeah, now all the executive board members plus all the ISAGA members, they are requested to join the ISAGA assembly meeting.
Thank you. Would it be possible to enable the chat? Because for the membership meeting, we will use a different URL because that was already communicated to all the members, also the ones that are not attending. So if you could enable the chat, then I can paste the URL that we will use for the membership meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Shrikant sir, can you please enable the chat box?
Hi, Sebastian, Heidi. Thank you very much. It just finished for the awarding for.
Yes, that was a very good session, Domenico. It just dropped off a little bit earlier to be on time.
I know.
I think chat box is enabled for everyone.
Meeting, yeah. Hi, Paula. How are you doing?
Fine. Let's see.
Could one of you post the link that I just posted to Shrikant, Dr. Yigasu, and to the SVBB? You could make that public.
Yes, Sebas, we will do.
Yes. The problem is that the ISAGA membership meeting will be at another URL. And I asked to enable the chat box, but I can only chat directly to the host. What I'll do is I'll share my screen. Oh, sorry. I'm doing something wrong here.
Sebastian, we are making host to you.
Thank you.
That will work?
That will work. And here are also the details. So I hope that. Hello, everyone. If you're still there and want to join the ISAGA membership meeting, please have a look in the chat. In the chat, I put the link to join the ISAGA member meeting.
कनेक्टर में प्रॉब्लम है, मोबाइल से कनेक्ट निकाल लगाओ तो कनेक्ट ही नहीं हो रही है, दूसरी ईयरफोन्स हो रहे हैं और एक साउंड बंद होगा।
Hello, David. Hi, seeing you. In the chat, I put a link to where the membership meeting is. There were 2 URLs communicated, but we need to be at the other URL. So if you now in the chat click on the other link, then you get automatically to the right meeting. Thank you, Rupa. Thank you, Dr. Dubé.
Thank you, sir.
I will log out from this one and go to the other meeting.